like you would have done in Prairie-Roubaix.
Only on the best days, Jason.
Well, we're glad you've joined us here on HCNet for the 57th running of the Men's Little 500. These are actually all students. This is technically an intramural event that has attracted more than 20,000 national exposure. An event that was memorialized and immortalized by the 1979 Oscar-winning movie Breaking Away. There are 33 teams racing 200 laps on this quarter-mile track, trying to come up victorious. You do get a ring. There is no prize money for this, but you get your name, your team, your miles per hour on the Borg-Warner Trophy, and this race is modeled almost identically after the Indy 500. This is the 57th running. It began in 1951, and the winner of that first race, the South Hall Buccaneers, and the bike from that race hangs in the IU Student Foundation, and it is a stunning bike. And those guys at that point during that race actually had to pit for over 3 minutes and still won the race. And one of the riders in that race had mentioned the reason that they were able to win, none of the guys on the team smoked.
You know, Jed, these are amateur cyclists and they're college students, but they take this very seriously. And, you know, we see how difficult some of these exchanges are. And I'll tell you, I don't know if there's a lot of professional bike riders that can do exchanges as well as some of these guys out here. So there's some real skill that we're seeing out here and something that definitely earns some respect.
Guys, how will the race change as we're almost hitting the halfway point from the first 100 laps to those last 100?
I think it'd be harder for some teams to hold on, and I think you'll see more thinning out. And over the course of the race, as people get tired, as the track really kind of warms up and the grooves start to form in the track, it's going to be a little bit more dangerous. So, you know, just look for more attacking and more aggressive racing as this race goes on.
Does it seem to you that we haven't seen much attacking?
You're right. We've only seen a little bit. We saw TMT off the front. We saw Black Key Bulls and Cutters really testing their legs. The first 100 laps, you just try to get through it, right? And everybody wants to lead on lap 100 halfway through the race. We used to call that ESPN time. Today it's HDNet time, which is even better, of course. And but the race will change the second half because that's really when the race is made.
Yeah, you know, it's true. We haven't seen a lot of attacking, although the Cutters and the other teams have really been riding at the front. Those guys constantly riding at the front have been doing a good job of keeping the pace up.
I think that's Delta Sigma Pi, team number 10, our business fraternity, really riding tremendous right now. They're actually on the lead lap, picking up a nice gap, coming in for an exchange.
Yeah, great exchange. Tag off.
Both the men's and the women's team for Delta Sigma Pi qualified in the top 10. Their motto, heading into the season, making the track our business.
You know, that's right. You know, I have to say the first time I came here to this race and got to know some of the athletes and understand their preparation, I was really impressed because they do make it a business. These guys are professionals, you know, as far as the Little 500 comes. They go to training camps, they spend hours training, they have training programs, and they follow it very, you know, rigorously, and they sequester themselves the week leading up into the event. You know, they don't drink for a quarter or two, or maybe at least a week. And so that, you know, these guys are really serious about this race, and you can see it in their face when they get ready for the race to start down on the infield. They're very, very serious. It's all about business.
So when I wrote Dylan, the USA Today came here to interview us. I know one of the reasons you come today is because your friend Lance Armstrong came and told you about this race. How did he talk you into coming?
It's funny, you know, I retired a few years before Lance did, and he said, well, one of the things you got to do, Dylan, now that you don't have to earn your living on the bike, is go out and enjoy a bike race from the other side of the fence. And the only one I can think of that's worthwhile seeing is the Little 500, and I have to tell you, he's right.
We just hit lap 96. At the front of the field, the Cutters, Dodds House, there are 8 teams in the lead pack.
And I think that the big pack, 8 teams is a lot for 100 laps in, and I think it's a result. I haven't seen the pace that hot earlier, so there's teams like Theta Chi, team number 12, Acacia, team number 15, Octoon, team number 19 still in there.
Ali Kamara about getting ready to make an exchange.
Here comes TMT. TMT has no gap right now. The pack's right on their wheel, and we'll see if they can pick it up and make Ali kind of work his way through.
Yeah, we saw Black Key Bulls right on the Major Taylor rider's wheel as he was trying to get that gap to do an exchange. Didn't get one, and you know, Ollie's really gonna have to work to catch back on, and I think they're doing that on purpose, right, Jason?
picking up the pace a little bit. I'd pick it up a little bit more if I were Cutters right now or Phi-Sci.
Sure.
They have a lot of teams hanging around. 8's a huge pack right now. The stronger teams really want to string this out, I would think.
So let's talk about the Dodds House and the Cutters and the Blackheath Bulls. Do they have a finisher? Do they have somebody that they're looking at to really deliver on the sprint on the last lap?
It's going to be exciting. Missing out this year was Dodds House against Cutters, and it was Chris Chartier on Dodds House and Alex Bishop on Cutters, and Alex just edged him out. And you can see, you saw Alex's body. He's got this big track, super muscular body. The guy really knows how to finish off the race.
Yeah.
Bishop this year second in ITT. Sasha Land, his teammate, first, and Bishop also victorious and missing out. But Chartier said, hey, if it comes down to a sprint again, I have no problem shaking his hand and going toe-to-toe with him. You can print it, I'm going to beat him.
And that's, if you're Dodds coach, you really have to like that comment. You have to see it and visualize. Great that he still thinks he can beat Alex. It's going to make for a great finish, and these guys aren't going anywhere. The fun thing about it, they'll see each other in class, they'll see each other around campus, and they'll lay it all on the line here.
Jason, can you also talk a little bit more about Glenn Spisak, Dodds' coach, because he's a legend around here?
He really is, and they have a tremendous program. I think Glenn started in the early 90s, I'm going to say. I'm not sure, but he was on a Dodds team that didn't make the race. And so their goal moving forward was to always be in the race and always be competitive. In winning in 98, they had a tremendous team. Jonathan Purvis, Alex Enan, and they won again in 2005. Right now, you're seeing a little bit of an attack by Cutters and Dodds House. And Blackheath Bulls, something's happened with their bike. They've lost their chain, I'm sorry.
Oh, so he has to run all the way back into the pit to do an exchange. Dodds House really laying it down right now. We're going to see a replay of what happened. Looks like he was sprinting.
Oh, this is scary when you lose your chain. Oh.
Some good bike handling skills there.
No resistance, right? You're taking a hard pedal stroke and then no resistance to find it. That's Mike Choinacki, their mechanic. They're trying to do some work, get it going again. So many variables going to the little 500. That's really going to hurt Blackheath Bulls right now as they have to chase.
Choinacki was a legendary rider at Ball State, and that's where the name Blackheath Bulls essentially comes from. Choinacki was a coach, and talking to some of the riders, he was looking for a team, and they were looking for a coach, and the two have met, and because of that, they are favorites today.
Right now, Blackheath Bulls is almost a quarter lap down. We see Dodds House, we see the Cutters, we see Fiji's on the front really putting the pressure. He right now just has to settle into a time trial zone, not lose his cool, hope that the field slows down a little bit so that he can catch back on. He's got to use some of the traffic, some of the lap traffic to his advantage to kind of leapfrog back up to the front, but he's almost a quarter lap, half lap down at this point.
Just to point out, 2 bikes per team. Jason, if for some reason a second bike goes down, what happens?
They'd go get a loaner bike from the mechanics here at the Little 500. They'd get a loaner bike, but that certainly wouldn't be good because then they wouldn't be comfortable with that.
That's right. It's a bike they haven't ridden. I mean, they have these 2 bikes that are perfectly set up for all 4 guys.
Exactly, dialed in. And Dylan, you've gone through mechanicals before. Once something happens, like you drop your chain, you get a flat, your wheel's out of screw, you start to question that bike. I mean, things are starting to go into his mind next time he takes a hard pedal stroke.
Absolutely. That'll really play into your psyche as you're getting prepared to maybe launch a new attack or something like that. We see Blackheath Bulls doing an exchange here. And that's smart. They can't leave it all up to one rider. I mean, if they keep doing those exchanges, put 5 lap sets in, they might be able to make contact back again. There's 97 laps to go. Got to keep their cool, got to think about, all right, all we need to do is get back in the field. The race is not over yet.
Emotionally, it has to be crushing to think that a chain derailment could cost you the entire race.
It's tough. I've seen that happen over the years. It's happened to Cutters and Figams, and mechanicals just happen in bike racing. It's one of those harsh realities.
That's why the preparation is so important, and paying attention to all the little details about your equipment, your nutrition, your preparation. Are you prepared for race day? Do you have a routine? Do you have your bag set up? Do you have your shoes and your helmet? Everything laid out. You want to have all of that stuff be second nature so that when race day comes, you can just focus on being relaxed, showing up to the track with all your stuff and ready to rock and roll.
We're about to hit lap 105. Dodds House, Cutters, Team Major Taylor, Phi-Sci, Delta Sigma Pi in there, and Fiji still on the lead pack.
Major Taylor, hey, riding a smart race, sitting in second, third wheel, out of trouble, not getting in the wind. Black Key Bulls, they were being aggressive all day long. Look at the position they're in all of a sudden. Now they're chasing. My guess is they're gonna catch back up, but they're gonna spend some matches doing it.
And he doesn't have anybody at this point, then he could draft behind so he can conserve some energy as the pack is a pretty good distance away.
Slowing down.
But it is slowing down, trying to get by some of the lapped riders.
It's surprising, really, when a team like Black Key Bulls is down and you're not trying to make the race as fast as you can. It really surprises me.
It's true. You can